All right, guys. So you're walking on a beach. Okay, just close your eyes. Imagine this. You're walking on the beach, and your foot kicks a little lantern, and you pick up this lantern, and on this lantern it says you will be granted one collectible wish.
Wow.
Any collectible. You go statues, you could go 6 scale, anything. You get one wish. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about anything. What are you wishing for? What would you get? Past, present, could be
Future?
even future.
Wow.
I already know mine.
What's yours, Dean?
The Prime 1 VF1J in Gearwalk mode. I wanted that statue so bad, and the second I had the money for it, it sold out. I was so devastated.
Mine would probably be Prime 1 also, and it would probably be either the anime style Ava Unit 1 or the Josh Nizzy variant, which I almost bought. I had the money and everything, and then a certain retailer, I was not able to communicate with them, and I decided to not buy that, but probably that.
That's a good choice. Those are badass.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
Is it a cop-out to say I would want that lantern to pay off my Inart 2-pack Joker? Because that invoice is hellishly ominous at the moment.
I know.
Oh, do you have it already?
No, thankfully not. But I'm like, I was waiting for taxes to roll in, and it wasn't all good news. So I'm like,
Jesus
oh
Christ.
God.
I know. I might pull that trigger too, and I don't know. I'm stuck with that. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of want it, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, you can use it. True, the lantern's right.
Well, and I wanted a reissue of Joker ever since I got the DX11. I wanted an updated version, so I mean, it's the best out there.
Wow. Now, John, you rub the lantern. What are we getting?
Oh, I rub that lantern. I'll tell you. Jack
Like a genie in a
Nicholson,
bottle.
3rd scale. Jack Nicholson Joker.
That'd be
I don't care who
intense.
does it. I just want it executed to it.
I was gonna ask if it exists or if it's just like in your head.
No, it could be anything. It could be past,
Okay.
present,
Wish it.
future.
You could wish it into
You
existence.
can wish it into existence.
Wow.
Love to see it.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
That'd be
Because
awesome.
it's
Does it spawn on the beach and I have to carry it back to my car? How far away did I have to park?
well, no, you were just on a,
Is it?
you were
I
just
hate
on a
sand.
stroll.
It gets everywhere. Statue's all sandy that doesn't even key in.
I didn't
No,
even think about
when you
that.
rub it and do your wish, it just shows up in your display already in your house.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a double.
Everything gets rearranged.
Everything.
My goodness.
Like everything's
That's
perfect.
a badass lantern, dude.
I wish for 3 more wishes.
The only problem is when you want to put it in hover mode, you see a crack. You hate to see it.
Oh my God.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Shall we lock in the artillery power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm John. It's every week. It's every week. I'm John. Peace.
And I'm Ben.
I mean, no disrespect by this, but we need to move John to the back of the order.
No, it's my fault. You know, I'm supposed to hit the unmute button while it's playing. I forgot.
I was worried he was stroking out. Or
There we
like,
go.
I wasn't too sure.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank everyone listening, joining us live, catching us on the replay, all the Patreonies, all of you. Bunch of sweet angels.
What's going on, Vane? Oh, you're on mute, Zach. You hate to see it.
Wow.
Now I know how John feels. We have a great show tonight. Not a lot of news, but we are going to have a good time anyways. In the chat, we got Toy Mafia, Two Country, Dante's Boneyard, Lane Kramer, Universal Key, Vane21, DJ, Doc Smizzle, there's a Spanish channel there. Pablo Meza, 12-inch Moose Stream, King Dingling, Yomo, Lane the Legend, Kramer, Gotham Cenobites, Thor Gaming, Always Sunnyville. Look at this. Look at this. John's got a new avatar.
Hey, Terry. What's going on, Terry?
Oh,
Look at that.
nice.
You'll love to see it.
Sam Gist, Rafi, welcome. Toy Cartel. Having dinner and watching CW. Toy Cartel, what are you eating tonight? Tell us. Let us
Doesn't
know.
it make that dinner taste so much better?
Yeah, it's like a fine wine. Draw the line 35. James Nichols. Dean, we have a very special segment that all of the best shows start out with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm in a new area. I got a new desk in preparation for my Punchline statue that'll be here in a couple months, I guess. I don't know. I keep updating the fucking tracking. Like, where is it? To no luck. She's still somewhere in the ocean, I guess.
Wow.
But yeah, I rearranged my entire collection. I used to be on the other side of those DTOFs, back in that dark corner. I have the lights turned off over there. I still need to switch my DTOFs around and then fill them. They're currently empty. Most of my figures are just on the desk here. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, it was cool. I wanted shelves on top of my desk, but I also didn't want to like drill into my wall. So I was like, dude, I'm just going to put these cool bookcases here. And then I moved some of the shelves up. So there's like cubbies. You can see these graded comic books. They're like just even with the desk that I have cubbies now. I could stash stuff in there. I have enough room for all my beautiful figures. My auxiliary A right here. My quarter scale 2B right here. Guts,
look at this
Cloud.
To be or not to be?
Yeah. All my Robotech figures, my beautiful statue that was never visible on my other setup. So
And that ugly flag.
Yeah, I had to move the flag. I was like, John would be way too happy if it's not on screen. So I absolutely had to move the flag 100% because of John. I was like, I'm not letting him have this one.
The people want a collection tour. I've been asking you for months, Dean. They need it.
Yeah. Once I finish the DTOFs, I'll be able to do one. So it should be soon.
I feel bad for the audio listeners, dude. You look so good right now. Anybody who's listening on audio, make sure you tune in later. Dean, I like the fact that you're so much brighter. You're not going to be able to draw as secretly as you once did. But
I see you drawing a send it back.
I'm drawing
I don't know what you're talking about.
Vane21 says, can Dean explain what made Punchline the one? Odd first choice, but I've got it coming as well.
Yeah, so I actually didn't know who the fuck Punchline was at all. And I was watching John's show, and it was like when it was first like shown off, I was like, what is that? She's so beautiful. I mean, she's gorgeous. And that really crazy kind of psychopath, the kind of girl you don't want to take home to mom, but you do want to take her home, you know? And so I just started, digging into who the fuck Punchline was, and I legitimately fell in love. So
he beat his meat.
It was like, I don't know, it was just like, when you meet the one, it's like the second I saw her, I was like, she's the one. So it was, I want to say it was still like a year and a half before it actually even went up for pre-order. But in that time, I bought all the comics. I have all her graded books, all the key issues. And yeah, single-handedly got me into Batman. Now I'm on a Batman kick. I'm looking up figures to accompany the piece, some cool Batman statues. Nothing quite like John's. That's maybe one day, but not currently. But yeah, I just saw her and fell in love. That's kind of the only thing I could say.
Dante says he's trying to listen while at work fixing jets. I'll go back later and check it out. What a guy. I'm excited for you, Dean. I'm real excited. Definitely look forward to that live unboxing.
Yeah, it's going to go right in front of the flag. As you can see, the desk is longer than the shelves on purpose, so she could be right there. She'll probably her head will probably be like right here. That's a big statue, so.
Wow.
the comic books will go in front of her. I'm printing out some little comic book stands. It's gonna be.
She's
dope.
beautiful, yeah. Especially the bust with the stands. It's gonna look really good. I think you're gonna be happy.
It's awesome, bro. It's definitely gonna bust. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, bust.
Ben, what did you get this week?
Yeah, so I walked into a comic book store, Another Dimension Comics here in Calgary last weekend, it was more during the week, I guess, like Wednesday, I think it was. And I wanted to spend some money. I had just got my money back from the DeLorean story pending for later, but I had a little extra money in my pocket, so I went into the store. This is kind of the place if you're in Calgary and you want to be able to just buy a figure off the shelf. This is where you go. And they had 20% off of all of their Hot Toys and Sideshow collectible items. So that included statues, like the works. But normally they don't have like newer stock. They usually have some like more of like the Grail pieces and stuff. And I told you guys a couple weeks ago I saw that General Zod. So that was actually the one that I was thinking about picking up because I wanted to go look at it again. It was a good price and everything. And then I saw Loki on the counter. And I'd wanted to get the Loki, but for me, I didn't like absolutely love the likeness from what I'd seen from reviews, so I was kind of like on the fence with it. With the 20% off, it meant that I saved about $140 when it came to shipping and like customs and all of the things. So it ended up being a great deal. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to buy it anyways, brought it home, unboxed it. And every day this week, it has captured my attention walking past the display. It is an absolute banger of a figure. With the helmet on, I still totally see the likeness to Tom Hiddleston. It is the only Loki figure I have in my collection, so I don't have any of the other previous versions to compare him with. I know the Dark World version was pretty good. A lot of people really liked that one. But I gotta say, if any of you have been considering this figure and it's on the fence, if you can wait for a sale, I still would recommend it. But even still, I think I would have been happy with this at retail cost. I have loved this in the collection.
Wow, congratulations, Ben. Do you, when you take the helmet off, do you still see the likeness, or do you think it looks much better with the helmet on?
I do more so with the muzzle. So like the secondary look where you can put his handcuffs on and the muzzle and everything, then yes. A little bit less when it's just barefaced. A little bit less, for sure. But again, I've got nothing to truly compare him with, so it still looks like Tom Hiddleston to me.
There you go. I don't know if it's Rafe or Rafe, but this guy is asking, Dean, what's your favorite, or who's your favorite Batman, rather?
Oh, boy. That's a big question.
Oh, yeah, that is a good question. We talked a little bit about it on Ben's show on Sunday, I think. I've really starting to appreciate Keaton. I did really enjoy Batfleck, but he was also just like not very Batman-y. He wasn't. Batman's supposed to be like real dark and like doesn't joke around. Affleck's was more like always delivering the punchline, which felt a little more Iron Man than anything. But I did enjoy Affleck. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Keaton.
Hell yeah.
Not bad, not bad. So this week, I didn't buy anything new, but I printed some new things. Ben, I think you might appreciate this. So Victoria's 100%. A big fan of Majora's Mask, and I had printed her for Christmas a ornament-sized Majora's Mask, and her brother, who's a huge Zelda fan, came over and was like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever," and she gave it to him, and I've always been like, kind of joking with her, like, you shouldn't have done that, like, you know, that was like, it was like your thing, like you painted it came out great. And so I don't know, it took me a while, but I finally was like, well, why don't I just make this like much larger than an ornament? And it came out great. The print was like 15-hour print, didn't use a ton of filament, did some nice little tree support, so everything was nice and easy to remove. And she's gonna paint it up and it's gonna look awesome. And yeah, love that. If you've followed the channel in the past, I had made an N1, but there was some things that I learned on the first one that I wanted to improve on the second one. And so this is the second one that I've built, you know, for the N1. And I gotta say, this thing has been an absolute nightmare. It's like literally every single thing that could go wrong to this point has gone wrong. Parts didn't fit together, weird like breakages on parts that have already printed successfully not printing successfully, parts breaking. I got everything sanded perfectly smooth, everything was good to go, and then I went to go hit it with the black so that I can hit the silver on top of it. Sprayed half the N1 with black, beautiful, you know, first layer of paint. Turned it around and it just started spitting out paint flecks, so I had to strip all that black paint off and resand it and refinish it. Just so many small things that have gone wrong, and I'm almost at the finish line with this project. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the first one, but I don't think I'm making a third. This has been a nightmare to do, and it has nothing to do with the file. It's all been, some self-inflicted type of stuff. But I won't lie to you. I will be happy to see this done because it just has not been fun.
Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be fun, right? For you. I mean, that's the point. And
the
like, you
first
don't
one
want it to be half,
so...
and you don't want it to be half finished. And like you said, it went well the first round. You're like all excited.
I don't understand. The first one went together like you couldn't believe, and then, this one, and then even like right when I was done, and I was like, okay, like all I need to do is attach the engines to the hull. There was like resin warping that I didn't encounter in the first one because the first one's engines were plastic. I mean, it's literally just been like just speed bump after speed bump after speed bump. But we got to keep moving on. We got to keep moving forward. Victoria's going to help me painting some engine details later today, and then painting the yellow stripes. And then it's just got to get weathered, and in theory, it should be done. But yeah.
I gotta say, I'm more excited to see what she does with that Majora's Mask. Not gonna lie, I am a huge Zelda fan, as you know.
Do you like that game, Ben?
I liked it less than Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is still my favorite game of all time, for sure. It was,
culture.
It was the aspect of the moon crashing into the ground every day, that you had to do everything before the moon would go down. Like, that drove me nuts in that game. Whereas, like, I liked the pure exploration of Ocarina of Time back then, because that was, like, for me, one of my first like big open world experiences where they don't tell you where to go. You have to kind of figure it out. Like, if you want to get the big Goron sword, you have to do this mission. You have to get the frog dude, and like all the things. So
yeah, but the water temple
was a pain in the ass, only because of that one key under the floaty thing that you forget is there every time. But yes, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, well, but I'd love to see that when it's done. So make sure you update us.
Yeah, I definitely will. But
Did you also print ocarinas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ben wants one. I'm gonna make one for Ben.
Yeah, they actually like function. It's cute.
Yeah, Vivi's functions a little too well. She fucking runs around the house. I'm like, oh my god, okay, fucking chill with that. But let's get into some news. We don't have a lot of news, so we'll be in and out of this news segment here. But
108 2 years ago.
Yeah, there you go. 108 Toys, the villain. They're also making the agent. These are the characters from Face Off, John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. These run 190 and they released July to September 2023. I will be honest, these look pretty bad.
What?
And yeah, I don't.
You're crazy.
I'm not seeing 190 here. I'm seeing like 150,
that's
145.
Okay. That's fair.
No, Ben, you're crazy too.
No, that's fair. It's the price is a little high.
The price is a little high.
Yeah.
And I just gotta say, as a kid, I know we're gonna talk about this movie at some point later. As a kid, I thought the plot was really stupid. And like a year ago, I was like, was that really the plot of a movie? Because there's no way, right? There's just no way. And I wikied it, and I was like, yeah, that was really the plot of the movie. Like, that is so stupid. And yeah, it's like, were people really like clamoring for these? Like, I can't imagine there's a huge market for John Travolta and Nicolas Cage Face-Off figures. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But there can't be, right?
They're pretty iconic actors. I could see it.
The mag boots. Now, the only way I could justify 190, and even still, it's like not. But the fact that you get the mag boots, if Castor Troy came with the prison suit for the mag boots, it's like, oh, you get an alternate outfit with the Nick Cage, and he could be both characters. He doesn't have to be the villain.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, it comes with the boots, but not the prison outfit. It's weird. That being said, I love these. I think they look better with the glasses on. I don't think the likeness is 100%. I would give them like maybe like 70.
I would say the Travolta looks much better, but the Nicolas Cage looks. Maybe it's been a while, but he looks bad.
I think if he wasn't showing teeth, it'd be fine. But the teeth make it look a little goofy. But I love Face Off. You're not wrong, Zach. It's a stupid premise, but like that's the point of movies, right? You just fucking sit down and enjoy something that doesn't really have to make any sense. Like,
but they didn't even look like each other.
It's a
like,
sci-fi.
That's what really bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. They have completely different builds. Yeah. But you know, they get around it, right? With like the voice changer and
yeah.
It's fun. It's a turn your brain off and enjoy it. And the fact that both actors play the villain and the good guy is really cool. It's a really cool aspect of the film. Seeing John Travolta, who's usually typecast as the good guy, but man, he plays a good fucking bad guy. I love movies where John Travolta's the bad guy. And then Nick Cage, kind of also, he's usually the good guy in all his movies. So to see him go from the bad guy and then the good guy, and so you're like rooting for both of them in kind of a weird way. Sorry, we're not talking about the movie, but yeah, I think these figures are really cool.
Wasn't there a scene in this movie where one of them has sex with the other dude's wife, and they're like, "Is that this movie?" And they're like, "Wait, something's different." Okay. Yeah. That's like a recessed memory. Baby Boys, the show is 15 times better without Marco. True words never spoken.
Wow, who said that?
That's boy. Marco's buddy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hate to say
John, you like these? 190 a pop?
Okay, no, I think they're fine. I think it's fine. I think that what's his face? Oh my god, what's his face?
Bro.
Not Travolta. First of all, this Travolta sculpt with the glasses, I think looks. I have not one problem with it with the glasses. I think it looks what we're looking at right now. It looks to me, I'd pay 190 for that. Yeah. What's his face? Nicolas Cage. I think that portrait's better than the Hot Toys Ghost Rider portrait that we got. To be 100% honest.
I gotta pull that up.
And I have that Ghost Rider. We did the unboxing. I think it's better. I think this is fine.
Wow.
I'm only worried about maybe the materials used for the suits.
That's like an Inart Joker for both.
The
of these,
final tailoring is
the final tailoring. But even to give us that portrait with the mask on, I think this is fine.
Yeah, to answer Sam Gift's question, I think when they do the surgery, that's what that
exactly.
It's the skin graft.
It's the face off.
Yeah,
right?
the skin. Yeah, face off. There you go.
Yeah. Ugh. It's awesome that they gave us that though. That's pretty freaking random in terms of a figure accessory.
Like, yeah, because it's an actual face. It's not a sculpt.
Yeah, it's like skin, or it looks like that. It looks like peeled off skin. Yeah. You can see it around like the edges and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought that was a whole second portrait. Okay.
No, that's what I thought too, and I was like, okay, 192 head sculpts, but no, it's an accessory to put on the face.
For sure. Shauna doesn't know movies very well. When I showed her this, she was like, "Is that John Travolta?" And so, to John's point, with the sunglasses on, even somebody who's not all that adept to movies knew who this guy was. The Nicolas Cage, she didn't know who that was. She was like not sure at all. I don't know. He looks maybe familiar, but very vague. I think having a Nick Cage figure is actually pretty cool. But there are definitely other films I think I'd want him from more. I do agree, Dean, that even though the acting was a little over the top, seeing the actors' range and their ability to to transition who they were was really good and take on the mannerisms of each other. Right. So I think that is cool. In terms of the figures, I just agree that it's too much money. I think that they're not bad figures. They're just more than I'd be willing to spend, especially once it's like shipping and conversion costs. They'd still be close to $300 for me.
Yeah, I feel like for just guys in suits, it's kind of high. It's not like it's like custom armor sculpts or bullet effects or
or likeness
magic
rights.
Effects. Yeah. Or likeness rights. 190 does seem a little high, but
that's all I'm saying.
I mean, if they actually come out and the tailoring is spot on and the materials are really nice, yeah, I could probably justify the 190. But I mean, I don't know who the fuck 100 Toys or what is this? What are they called?
108 Toys.
108 Toys.
I don't know how you don't see Nicolas Cage here though.
I do 100%. Well, not 100, but
I think this is the best Nicolas Cage portrait I've seen, to be honest, on the market.
Wow.
I still see him. I just said like
That's
Shauna
high
didn't recognize him.
Shauna didn't know who I knew right away.
She knew John Travolta though, but she does like Grease, so that's not helping her cause.
The Travolta is probably the best one I've seen since the Silkatano.
The tailoring can use some work, like that shirt.
Travolta-tano?
Those cuffs there. Not the cuffs, the whatever you call them. The cuffs. No, that's off the cuff. Whatever.
The collar?
The collar.
The collar. That's it.
Baby boy says at Ben Thomas, I take exception to being called Marco's buddy. I know him exclusively through chat roulette. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what you call friction friends right there, boys. Friction friends.
This isn't no Mars Toys here, but hey, they did okay.
But that's what I was gonna say. Mars Toys, you get the whole Joker for $160.
That's what I'm trying to fucking say.
Yeah, no, Zach, you're not wrong. I do think these are a little
like
high.
$160 for 3 portraits and like fucking 1,000 accessories. This is $190 for.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's 3 portraits. I think it might be the same portrait with sunglasses on, and then the skin graft faced on top of that. Like
No. I'm saying Mars Toys is $160.
Oh,
for
sorry.
3 whole portraits.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And a bunch of accessories.
That's insane.
We're getting some echo. Yeah, this is special though. The Mandalorian Luke. This was released, and I don't hate it. I actually really like it. I think the scene was great. We'll talk about one scene wonders later on in the show, but for this moment, I think it was special enough that it deserved a figure, even though it basically was a one scene, one look character. I guess you saw it again in Book of Boba Fett, kind of the similar outfit. Apparently, it was many years later. Fucking retcon. But I don't hate this, and I know a lot of people were already speculating, like with Return of the Jedi. What is it, 30th, 40th anniversary coming around the corner? There's certainly reason for Hot Toys to rebox up the original Jedi Luke, which is a little bit different from what I understand. So it'll be interesting to see if we have that Chrome Mando effect where a figure gets released and then right away there's a new version. I'm wondering if any of you guys think that that's going to happen, or if you think the Hot Toys is going to chill a bit on the Lukes.
I would normally say that they were going to chill on the Lukes, but if I learned anything from John, they have no fucking chill. I think 100% we're going to see it again. I mean, they released the Jedi Luke, and then like not even a year later, they did the Jedi Luke again with more stuff and like different hair and the deleted scene accessories. It was like, okay, well now this other Luke is, not as good immediately. This Luke is different enough. Is it a completely new face sculpt, or is it different, or is it the same?
I want to say the hair is different. Like the hair
is definitely different.
Because on that figure, you can pop the hair off to access the eyes. I'm not 100% sure on the sculpt. It did look different when they solicited it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe the chat can
I
help us
really,
out there.
really love the outfit on this one. It's very different from Return of the Jedi, because they're more of those like Japanese style robes. Up top, if I can, I'll probably try and find someone selling just the body, and then I'll just use my Jedi Luke sculpt on it, because I don't like the hair, and I don't really feel like buying a whole new figure with like another Grogu. Like if I could get just the body for like $150, $180, I'll be happy. But yeah, I don't hate this. I think it's cool, but I'm just as happy with my Jedi Luke.
This is a nice release, but like this is a good Luke. This looks like a good Luke. The body looks great. The tailoring, the boots. This is a good release. The problem is I'm so over this already. This is like long gone in my even thought of picking up. Like we're already on season 3, so I think this is cool, but I don't know when you have gaps like this in between the pre-order date and the pickup date, the gaps that you have, which allows so many people to see different things, statues, other Hot Toys, and so forth, I think the excitement dwindles, especially now that we're in season 3 and we're seeing different characters evolve and we're kind of seeing the storyline open up a bit and where it may go and what figures we may get from it. This is like such a like not even on the radar. But execution wise, I think it's good for people who are picking it up. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I think it's there, especially with the trooper and everything, the way they executed that. So I think this is a really solid Luke, but long overdue.
You're on mute, Ben.
Thought I clicked it. Brendan says Mando collectors will have 20 Grogus. You're not wrong.
Facts.
You are not wrong. John, you're right when you say this has been a while.
Always. Yeah.
This has been a while. Always. This has been a while. It has been. You're right. Somebody told me the other day that it had been 3 years since Mando season 2, and I was like, no way. Like, there's no way it's been that long. But it was ended at the end of 2020, and I mean we're 2023 now, so fair enough. I do think though, looking back at this scene when it aired, I remember like feeling like I was tearing up. Like there was a level of emotion seeing Luke come back, especially after kind of what they'd done with him in The Last Jedi. I did not love that film and kind of what they did with Luke's character. So to see him come back in his kind of full form, his really like, excited and optimistic self, but also very like Jedi and very like polished in comparison to even what we'd seen in earlier films from him, I thought was amazing. And as I said, it actually inspired some emotion within me. I thought that the CGI likeness, kind of what they did with him here, was a little off-putting, and I think it's strange that they made the figure look like the CGI likeness. Like the fact that we call it CGI Luke is odd to me, especially when in the Book of Boba Fett, when we saw him there briefly for those 2 episodes, they had already then hired that other person and like polished the heck out of the effects for Luke, and that to me looked like young Luke Skywalker sitting on the rock.
Yeah,
like it was
100%.
That was mind-blowing effects in comparison, and so that then made me hope that they'd actually then make a Book of Boba Fett Luke with that likeness as opposed to the CGI likeness that we're getting here. So while I think that this is a very iconic scene, and I can understand why collectors would want to have it, especially if you're a completionist collector for Luke's, it's not one that I would bring to my collection. The only thing that I would say that is a huge win for this is this destroyed Dark Trooper. I mean, in terms of just having another piece in your collection as like a diorama display even, I think it's amazing. Some of the images that I've seen from Hot Toys where it looks like he's like crushing him in that one scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cool looking. So cool looking. So jealous for the folks that are going to get it, because I know I'm going to see awesome pictures at some point and want to change my mind. But for now, I'm holding strong and holding off on Luke.
As a frame of reference, this one was solicited early September 2021. So that puts us at about a year and 8 months, I think. Right about, let's see, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, about a year and a half from solicitation to release. So not great, not terrible. When was Mando season 2 finale? Let's see.
I think it was December. I think it was December 2020. I could be wrong. I know it was 2020.
Yeah, December 18th, 2020. So, yeah, this one was almost 9 months late after that. So, yeah, certainly it's been a while. Now this one, I guess if we're talking about figures that are way late, although this one does have a little bit more relevance, the Soso Toys Hero Lawyer. I want to say this is their second version, if I'm not mistaken. This one is these are their quote unquote final product picks. I think it looks good. I think the tailoring there looks really good. I've been really happy with some of these third party companies and the tailoring on their suits. This looks good. This looks very good. Yeah. And I want to say this was a pretty limited figure as well. So if you got one, congratulations. But yeah, this one is now officially out.
Yeah, it's cool. You could put it on 3 different shelves, right? You could have a Daredevil shelf, you could have a Spider-Man shelf, and you could have a She-Hulk shelf. So
yeah,
it's a versatile figure. It's not breaking the bank. It's also kind of a boring figure, right? Just again another guy in a suit. So like it's not something I would want to spend a ton of money on anyway. So even if Hot Toys did make this, I'd probably still end up getting a third-party version of it. Save that money.
Yeah.
Because again, it's very simple, right? Just a dude in a gray suit. But yeah, I don't hate it. I think with the glasses off, he looks a little scared. like
Well,
his
he
eyes
does,
started
but he's
working
also-
for a second. He's like, "What?"
In a way, it makes sense.
So yeah, it's
actually-
not terrible. It's not the worst.
I actually do like that the walking stick, I guess, that it folds up. I think that's a really nice little feature.
I wonder if it
is
actual
super necessary.
Is it actual like bungee or does it just peg into itself? You know, because those walking sticks pop out because there's like a bungee cord in them.
No, it looks like there's a bungee cord there. You can see on the right hand photo the way it's bent. It looks like there's some sort of cord there.
Definitely looks like it's under tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Dean said, you can use this for 3 different shelves. So there's that.
The portrait's not there, but besides that, I think this is well tailored and a good looking figure. But the portrait's not 100% there for me on this one. I'd be interesting. I don't know. Hot Toys really should tackle him, considering he
in
did
this
the
outfit.
Daredevil. Yeah, they should. I think they should. They probably won't at this point, depending on what we get from the what is Born Again that we're
When
going to
did
be
She-Hulk
seeing.
ends?
Well, She-Hulk, we won't. I don't think we'll get it.
4 months ago, so we won't see Hot Toys on
Jesus,
for
Bob
another
Dylan.
4 months.
But Born Again, they're doing the new series. Maybe they'll tackle it from there, especially after seeing people excited about this. I'd like to see Hot Toys do this because I think I'd have confidence in them in a good portrait.
Well, I think Hot Toys has given us a portrait, right, John, with the yellow and the red suit recently with that announcement.
Oh, Fuzz, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I know people were saying that they
Is
would
it a separate portrait?
I believe it comes with that figure. So, like
it's,
put it.
You don't put like the mask on. It's
No,
totally
it's a separate portrait.
No, it's a separate portrait.
100%. I'd buy this then. 100%.
So, because at that point, people were saying they would want a Kit Basha figure for this reason, right? So, I mean, if you like the red and yellow suit, then do that.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if you don't love the red and yellow suit like a lot of folks feel, they've now made that Matt Murdock head sculpt, so I'm sure we'll see it again with future versions of the character. So, kind of like you said, if you don't mind the tailoring on this might be a good kind of stand-in until you update the sculpt on top. Possibility. But otherwise, I agree. I don't love the likeness on this one. It gave me Mr. Bean vibes, I'm not going to lie. The very first picture that you showed without the glasses. I think with the glasses on, it does help, for sure.
How, I don't watch these shows, so I'm going to ask a question, and I apologize if it's an ignorant question. But here I guess it's a... No, I know that. He's using a walking stick, right? I guess like in the civilian world. But when he's doing Daredevil things, does he still need to use a stick to like...
No,
he uses echolocation.
The stick is just used to... He doesn't really need the stick, right? It's just used
he can...
Like Superman
it's just to
and his
like...
glasses, right? It's his disguise.
Like hide his identity.
It doesn't make sense.
See.
He can like in the he doesn't need a stick to fight crime, but he needs it to walk in public. No, it's just to hide his identity, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, not your fault. It's not your fault
Yeah,
because
it's
you're
like
not familiar.
Superman wearing glasses. He doesn't really need it.
Okay.
Throws people off. There's no way a blind man could be Daredevil.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Jesus.
That's the concept.
There are no stupid questions, only stupid answers. Brenton said, "How does he know it's red and yellow suit?" Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're gonna get canceled. It's not getting canceled. Wow, it actually isn't getting canceled. There you go. The Collecting Weekly 1/6 kit discount, $10 off your first purchase on 1/6 kit using code CW10. You can save yourself some money there. Again, that's just CW10. Are you laughing at my joke?
No, I'm laughing at Brenton because you're like, I haven't watched the show. And then Brenton said, Matt Murdock hasn't watched anything either.
Bob Dylan, he used echolocation to find She-Hulk's G-spot. Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
What a savage.
I love this community, dude.
Was she She-Hulk when they had sex, or was she normal?
She smashed him.
Wow.
Hulk smash.
Off the racks collectibles and more money. You can save $15 off a $100 purchase with code CW. If it's a pre-order, it'll be taken off the final payment. So if you want to save some money, there's some options for you there. Dean, it's been a while. It has been a while.
It's been a minute, yeah.
But you want to know what really grinds? You want to know what really grinds my gears?
I really do.
So we know a lot of retailers. a ton of retailers. We're, when you're an internationally syndicated, famous, I mean, we're talking top 200 in Cambodia. Okay, that's the kind of caliber of show.
Bro.
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. Do you know where your favorite podcast is at? We do. We, we've offered a lot of stores, like, hey, we're trying to build a network of local collectible stores. If you want to offer a discount on your products for free, we will solicit it, right? We've had 2 stores take us up on the offer.
Right.
And I want to read you a quote from a retailer. This is someone in the United States that I reached out to. Wish we could advertise discounts, but on Hot Toys, but we maybe could get around it by offering a store-wide sale that may be able to generate some excitement that might get us around the sideshow hall monitors. And it seems like there's a set of rules for the retailers and a set of rules for sideshow, and perhaps that's a part of the agreement that they enter into. But it frustrates me when I hear from my friends that own stores, from other retailers that own stores, that they've basically been sandbagged by this inventory that they've ordered, that they're struggling to sell, and that they can't really, because obviously they're getting it at a cheaper price than they're selling it, of course. They can't offer any sort of sales, right? There seems to be an alleged minimum that they can discount or maximum they can discount, and they have to respect certain product prices, right?
Right.
And then today you have Sideshow. You can buy 2 figures and get $150 off of this selection. You can buy 3 and get $250 off. There was these huge deals that they're doing.
The fuck?
Is that buy 2 get 1? God damn.
There's huge savings that they've been offering. Their daily deals, free shipping deals, discounts and free shipping deals. And it just frustrates me that obviously Sideshow has the same problem, right? They have inventory that they can't sell. And it kind of pisses me off that even just as recently as last week, our friends that own stores throughout these great states united, Dean, they can't do anything about it because the Sideshow hall monitors, right? Again, it pisses me off. It really genuinely pisses me off.
Yeah, it's almost like, well, if someone wants to buy this, they have to come to Sideshow to get the better deals. So it's like, well, then why bother selling it or, distributing it out to other stores if you're going to fucking bottleneck people into having to order from you anyway? If I was a retailer, I just wouldn't stock their shit, which might be bad, because people do want these things. But it's like, but if I'm fucking stuck with this thing at max price and you're going to undercut me anyway, what's the fucking point? I completely get it. It's very, very annoying.
Yeah, this is tough. I can see from the perspective of the retailer on overstock, especially the way the economy's been going, people having to cancel and so forth. I can understand where they're coming from. But it would be interesting to know if the retailer goes into the deal already knowing that, then they can't really complain about it afterwards. Right? Figure out a way to work with your customer, because that's how these comic shops work even here nowadays, is they don't bring stock in. If you want to stock, like I know a lot of distributors here who work with Sideshow, you want the piece in, you got to go through them, you request the piece. It's not like the back in the day where you walk through the comic shop and you can look at the shelf and be like, oh wow, he has this, this, and this, I can pick this up. I think it's really changed. And it has to, right? Because retailers won't survive ordering all these Hot Toys and then sitting on them without being able to discount them. But Sideshow's struggling themselves, so they can't be competing with their own distributors.
It's crazy because in Calgary, I've done 15 comic book store tours now on my channel, and only one of those locations has Hot Toys in them.
For sure.
And it's for that very reason. They say, like, we can't justify bringing them in because if they don't sell, they're too expensive of stock for us to have, like, as kind of an investment into something that they can't then move. And then they're paying for storage as a result. So virtually every store here that I've dealt with, like kind of like you said, John, they'll order it for you if you don't want to order it yourself through Sideshow, but it doesn't seem like there's any real benefit to that other than you're not worried about the thing not showing up, or if there's damage, they have to deal with it and get it replaced and some of that kind of stuff. But even that to me is not enough of a perk to justify it. So there's literally only the one store that I got this Loki in last week that brings them in. And and I'm curious, like I might actually follow up with that store to see how it is that they end up getting so many, like, and still being able to offer the 20% off and everything. Like, how do they get around that, or they just kind of red tape it and don't tell anybody?
Shout that store out with that discount.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
Don't put that on the internet.
Oh, I won't. I like the discount. I want to buy more stuff.
Don't.
I wonder if it's different because you're in Canada.
No,
but like, and also like, I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to know.
We've heard of like rumors of like allegedly, retailers getting in trouble because someone left a Facebook review like, "Hey, better price than Sideshow," and it was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
like ate their
going.
lunch over it.
That seems like anti-competition.
But this isn't healthy. Like this photo we're seeing here, this price drop, this is not healthy. This is unheard of.
Dude,
It's
especially
basically buy two get one free. Like
and especially with the pay later with a firm, where it's like, it's depending on how much it is, it's only like $30 a month or something. Like, it's like, well, how the fuck do you compete with that? You can't. You literally can't. And I remember going to one of my favorite stores before we really got involved in all this kind of stuff, and they had a figure there, and I was like, well, I want to buy it here so I could take it home right now. I was like, but it's cheaper online. Can't you guys like fucking like price match or something? And my friend worked it there at the time, and she's like, we literally can't. Our hands are literally tied. She's like, you could do like a layaway, which makes it easier, but
At the same time, there's also some stores in town that don't do themselves any favors by upcharging the MSRP. So.
Bro, they still have Captain Phasma sitting on the shelf for $500. It's like, yeah, okay, go fuck yourself.
The thing here too is Sideshow though right now will be pivoting, so don't think that you're gonna have the same scenario next year, because I don't think you are.
But I feel like they said that about this
year.
No,
this is no. So this.
I think at some point the buck will stop, but I feel like that's the constant thing that I hear.
It has stopped. So for me personally, because I'm on the figure front and the statue front, Sideshow is completely pivoting their business plan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just listening to you on Casuals.
Casuals. They're pivoting completely because the company won't be able to survive. They're in the red, and they're coming up with ways now to get that money and get that customer back, because they're losing customers to distributors, and that's their worry. That Poison Ivy statue, I don't know if you guys saw, was a perfect example. Where
$250, yeah.
No, but not only $250, it was a Sideshow exclusive. You can only buy it through Sideshow. No distributor can order it for you with their discount.
The whole run, all $250 is exclusive
to Sideshow, and that's it. So,
wow.
I see that happening with the hot toys, especially like the C3PO, the R2s, and stuff that was. Now, don't get me wrong. I think you go on the wait list, you have a pretty good chance of it converting, because I've had that happen to me. The R2 and C3PO already converted. But that whole, it's going to sit and come in waves and this and that, I would not, if you really want a piece, I would not bank on that. You don't have to pre-order day one, I don't think. But
so now you think you should pre-order at some point, though?
That's the way the waves are going. Right, so we try to give the viewers the most accurate information. Right, at the time
like we always say, with new information, we reserve the right to adjust our stance. Right,
like when we were discussing this pandemic time, you would not touch a pre-order, whether it was a statue, whether it was a hot toy. You don't pre-order, because people are waiting for Sideshow Seconds, heavy discounts, Black Fridays, this and that. Right, they're stopping that. They're stopping that, and I think that's what. If you really do want a piece, I'm not saying necessarily go day one as of this moment, but you should keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
And sorry, John, just to clarify, you were saying that Poison Ivy was $250. You meant edition size of $250, not price, right?
Edition size.
Yeah.
Because they were smart, right? They put that Ivy as an edition size of $250. She went, and then FOMO kicked in, and 4 other pieces, kind of like attached to that line, are now waitlisted or low stock remaining. So people got so right. So it was brilliant on their part, in my opinion.
The one thing that sucks though is like, I get it. What you're saying, John, is like, hey, Sideshow's struggling, but it's like, the local mom and pops are struggling too, right? Like when the whole point of us doing these like free shout-outs, right, is to kind of throw a bone to the retailers that have always helped us out, that always, shout us out, plug us, recommend us to their customers. But talking to some of these retailers, I mean, we've Dean and I have both heard some real bad financial situations from these places. Like, hey, we have these orders that we're having to make to try to keep stock on the store, but we literally can't compete with these prices that they're offering.
But I don't think it's Sideshow that's
Like
killing the mom and pops. You know who's killing the mom and pops? Macari.
Who's that?
Facebook Marketplaces. That's who's killing the mom and pops.
I don't...
Because that's where people are waiting now. Zach, the deals that can be found on Facebook Marketplace for figures, here at least,
It is
maybe
crazy
not
here.
Macari.
It's
It is
crazy,
really crazy,
Ben.
It
Crazy,
is.
Ben.
Agreed.
Crazy. Sideshow's going up against their own distributors, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, and then like
all that
BST,
stuff.
I guess.
Yeah,
Also,
the BSTs.
Like, yeah.
So, yeah, you can even use BSTs as instead of Facebook Marketplace.
I mean, I guess that is true. Like, that's how I got my last two figures. But I guess what the point I'm trying to make is everyone's struggling.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be Sideshow that's also making it even harder for their own distributors to compete with Marketplace, with Mercari, with eBay, and with the main distributor itself, right? Because, when they're hall monitoring people that order their inventory and getting on their ass, allegedly, it's like you can't win because you can't compete with these prices that Joe Schmo on BST is selling. Obviously, you can't compare with Mercari and eBay, and you can't even compare with the distributor that's going to give you a 30-day guarantee, 10% cash back, or 5%, whatever. It's just rough.
I think this goes back to what we were talking about the other day. And we'll just take this picture as an example that's up here. Mix and match. Buy two, get $150 off. Buy three, get $250 off. That's buy two, essentially get one for $20. Do you think they're taking a loss there? They're not. They're absolutely still making a profit. There's no way they're taking that kind of hit and staying in business. They're still making a profit. These things are marked up unfucking reasonably. And I think I said, I don't remember where I said this, but the Prime One, 3 years ago, we got a quarter scale statue for $700. The companion piece just went up for sale. It's $1,700. An additional $1,000 in 3 years? There's no fucking way. There's just absolutely no way that is a thing. It's like people will pay this, fuck it, charge a little bit more. They'll pay that, charge a little bit more. They'll pay that, charge a little bit more. Let's keep marking this shit up because people are going to fucking pay for it. And people aren't paying for it, and now they're fucking really fucking feeling it. So they need to fucking, and it's not Sideshow, it's everybody. Everybody needs to be like, look, we don't need to make these ungodly amounts of profits. If we really care about making cool stuff and letting people have it on their shelves, people need to be okay with not maximizing fucking ungodly amounts of money. Like, I know that sounds fucking
Dean
weird.
wait, hold on. Let's all hold
it
hands
goes back to what
and sing
Hasbro.
Kumbaya.
It's going back to what
No,
Hasbro.
I'm not saying that, but
Dean, it's going back to what Hasbro experienced, right? Like, they tried to bump the shit up to like $27, and then no one bought it because no one's paying fucking $27 for a Blank Series or Marvel Legends. And now they're having to rethink that price increase. You got places like Funko that are literally sending billions of dollars of inventory to a landfill because it's cheaper to do that than to store the stuff that they overproduced.
Yes.
Let me address a few comments here. Cram says Bedrock City Comics here in Houston, by the way, Cram, come to OxCon in October, are so overstocked on Hot Toys they started using more space to set Hot Toys up. Brenton says hilarious. It's all Star Wars product. They really overstocked the figures. To that point, though, there was also a Marvel table that they showed.
Yeah.
So there's
no Marvel.
It's
really
not
now
just
anyways.
Star Wars. I mean, this on the screen is Star Wars because Star Wars is hot right now.
Badfish said, I may have missed this in the video, and I thought it was a joke in the Patreon chat, but he's saying that if you bought the whole table, it was $800 off for that. Like if you bought everything.
That's crazy.
On the table, I didn't see that, so I'm not going to say that that's truth, but
Dean, to your point, I don't think their markup is high. I think they're taking a loss. If they're not taking a loss, they're very skimming that edge, precisely because your point is the warehouse. They want this. They want this gone. It needs to be gone. They're sitting on dead stock because you have to understand. The older this gets, then it hits the BSTs. People letting them go brand new, discounted, and the older each day that goes by that these are sitting, it's worse for them. It's completely worse for them.
I've heard off the record that, like, let's say a Hot Toys is $100 MSRP on the website, right?
Yeah.
Just to simplify the numbers. That some of the retailers, it's 15%, 20% for them to buy it. So they might buy it for $85 or $80. Right? So when they sell it at that $100 retail, they're making a 15% profit. I would say that 100%, right? There's probably another 15% that Hot Toys is profiting off their initial stock. So yeah, I mean, we don't know any of these numbers like legitimately. These are just all estimations or offhand comments that we've, chatted with different stores through Messenger. But, I've never seen an invoice that says to that effect. But I know there was some Black Series invoices that leaked. I want to say it was from Target, and it was something like a 25% markup. Now that's Black Series. This is 1/6 scale, but just as a frame of reference for how much, they're justifying these fucking $6-7 price markups on Black Series, and that's basically all extra profit at that point.
Well, that's taking shelf space too. Well,
100%. I mean, I'm just saying, like, just as a frame of reference,
just
like
as a reference,
similar collectible. Yeah.
Obviously, they need to make a profit to stay in business. I'm not fucking oblivious to that effect, but it's like, if you could stay in business and survive, at $5, why are you still charging $15? You know what I mean? It just, these aren't necessities. These are collectibles. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy it. It's supposed to be,
well, what
recreational,
it is,
if you will.
Because if Sideshow doesn't take that 15, the guy who buys it and sells it on the BST will. So Sideshow says, hey, we're not marking it up like Darkside Anakin or whatnot, or any reissues they're doing. Hot Toys isn't marking them up to where the secondary market, where it's at. They're leaving meat on the bone there. So Sideshow's not going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to sell it for 15 less because I want to respect the collector. And then the collector turns around and sells it for a profit. And trust me, we would all love that. We would all love it. But I used to be like that. It's just come to the conclusion that, you know why these companies are marking them up? Prime 1 on the statue front, like you mentioned, because people are paying for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said that a second ago.
Yeah.
Like,
people.
Hey, they're
people
paying that
for
much.
them.
Mark it up a little bit more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just keep it going.
And John, you're 100% right. Like, it's not just like, I remember when you first really hit the ground running with statues. You were like, man, the figure market is fucked. But you're right. Like, there's statues that you can get dirt cheap. There's Hot Toys you can get dirt cheap. It's everything, right? Black Series. I'm selling Mafex stuff that's going for like 40% more on eBay. I can't get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
At basically retail. Everything is just terrible right now.
But nothing lasts forever.
All around.
The market will.
Maybe it'll get better.
The market
maybe
will
it'll
do a
self-correct.
turnaround. Yeah.
100%. More stuff with the DeLorean, Ben. I know you had an update, and I want to see kind of where everyone's at now that we've had about a week to process it. So these are some photos from Rudy's 1/6 World on YouTube. He had received a DeLorean, and knowing that a lot of people had issues, and I'm using these without permission, so go shout out to Rudy, whatever. Go give him a sub. I didn't have a chance to ask him before the show. I just found his video. He flipped the vehicle over without transforming it. I think in his video you can even still see the foam like encapsulating the front and back ends. Crack struts straight out of the box. This is another video that was forwarded to us. This guy had a crack in the hood of his DeLorean. This guy here, I don't really understand his message because he said he inspected it and then it was fine, then it shipped it and then it broke. But the what is this? The turn signal thing on the left side here of the steering column
broken.
Snap
the knob,
off.
The knob,
yeah, whatever you call that thing. And it just seems like there's just issues and issues. Denobi, a fellow YouTuber, his replacement had issues, and it's just like the thing that upsets me is like let's just say someone has an issue, right? you're affecting basically another collector to get a return, right? Because that other collector is now not getting the DeLorean that they ordered. And Ben, you kind of felt the trickle-down effect of that.
Yes, sir.
Because you got this message here.
Yeah.
Your DeLorean that was supposed to be here pretty soon is now expected May to July 23, right? And so what did you do? Because last episode you were a bit on the fence. You weren't sure what you wanted to do. Tell us kind of what you've done this week.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so like you guys said, I was on the fence. I was feeling like into this emotional roller coaster, but I was like, heck with it. I've already paid it off. I might as well just wait for it to come in. I'd paid it off earlier than the payment plan that I'd originally had set because people started getting theirs and I was excited. I wanted one, right? And then all these issues. And so it was literally like the next morning after the show last week that I got this email. And yeah, I know a lot of people got this email. I'm thinking probably for the reason that you kind of mentioned, Zach, that like now everybody's unit's been kind of pushed on to the next one and to the next one. I know there's been a few collectors out there hoping that this means that they're updating or upgrading some of those parts. But then I think that would just burn the shit out of the people who have already received their one now because they would want replacement parts. And if they can't get it replaced just in order to kind of do it at home, what do you have to send it back for the up? It doesn't make sense. I don't think that they're going to recall it. I think it's going to just end up being that they didn't have enough stock to supply everybody. So now it's a wait time. And I was like, I don't really want Sideshow necessarily to then hold my $1,000 for the next 4.5 months. So I called them and I just said, hey, I got this delayed notice. I paid for the figure on a US dollar credit card so that I wouldn't, get the exchange as badly or get the conversion rate cost as bad. And they were able to refund my money right to the card. Sideshow was great about it. Obviously they'd heard a lot about the DeLorean at this point. So, it was zero questions asked. It was like, yep, no problem.
It's probably less stress for them, to be honest.
Probably. And so I said to them...
you got to think let's just say Hot Toys made 1,000 of these, right? And now they need to restart production to fix, the ones that broke, replace the stock for, the Ben Thomases of the world that were waiting. This has got to be a massive headache, right? This is probably they're probably throwing themselves at you to give your money back, right?
Well, no, it's all good. And May to July is still very vague. Is it even going to come that soon? Is it going to be another delay if they're still having challenges with it, right? I don't want them to hold my money for the rest of the year. So I was like, I got it back. No questions asked. I will give Sideshow credit for that. I think the thing for me was I said to them right away, is it still available? Can I put a pre-order then back in right away? That's not going to weirdly red flag me or anything in the system. They said, no, we'll immediately send your money back. You'll get it within 2 days or whatever. And then, if you want to put in a new deposit, you can. And so I did. So I put it back on the same payment plan I was on previously. And now it'll be paid off again by July. At that point, I'm hoping things are fixed and things have been rectified. But it's been a shitty experience, to be honest, overall.
They gave you full refund, NRD and all?
Yeah, they give it back, the full amount back. Yeah, full amount back.
I'm shocked, well, not really shocked, but displeased that it's been, a week and a half already with this issue, and neither company has come out and made a statement. Maybe that's too much of an expectation, but I think, again, Hot Toys being pressed up against the wall, we've seen them do videos for figures, so we know they have some sort of way of communicating with the community, but I would have expected them to, maybe the expectation's too high, but to come out with a statement, right? Because we set such high expectations with these companies and being vocal with us in the community. And this is an issue that, we're dropping $1,000 and we're sitting back thinking, hey, is there going to be a recall? If I have damage, am I getting my money back? Or it's well, they have to tune into the YouTubers to find out who are discussing these topics for free, right? We're not getting anything kicked up from these companies up the ladder. So I don't know. I don't like that. I think there should be some sort of social media post, Sideshow taking ownership and sending out the customers an email. If they can do it for a discount, they should be able to do it for a mass issue of this size. This isn't something small, 5-10 people. This is a community being affected.
Yeah, 100% agree. Dean, do you have anything you'd like to add here?
Just recall it, dude. like John said, it's not one or two people. It's almost everybody. You release something that's not great. You know, Hot Toys is known for their quality. This one missed the mark. It's okay to admit that. And if you're gonna have to retool the shit anyway, don't fuck over the people that bought it first. Honor them. Just recall it, and retool it properly and release it properly. People want this thing. People are almost willing to like wager whether theirs is going to arrive fucked up or not. It's like, clearly this is something that people want in their collection, and I think that they deserve at these prices to get a good product. This one just missed the mark. Just recall it totally.
I will say it was honestly a bit of an odd sense of relief once I got my money back, though, because now I'm like at least hoping they've got the time to rectify in one way or another, without me having to deal with the hassle of receiving it being broken or whatever, and having to send it back and all of the things. It sounded like I probably wouldn't get my customs charges back if I had to do that. So even that, is probably about $80 both times. So that'd be an extra $160 for me if I had to do it twice. And that's if that, like, not like you said with the Nobi, like if I got a second one and it was broken, like what do you do? Really, it's getting ridiculous at that point. So it was a bit of a sense of relief to have it happen that way.
You know what you do here? Sorry, go ahead, Dean. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, especially like what Zach was saying, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's like, well, Ben's not going to get his because John needs a replacement. It's like, well, at that point, just take both of John's back. Just recall them all. Like, why are you doing this? It makes no sense, dude.
Bob's like, I'll get the reissue. You're getting a reissue of a reissue. But at this point, I would just recall everything and say, sorry, we're not issuing the DeLorean.
Yeah, we missed the mark.
If you want to get the DeLorean, go after the first one, and that's it. The way it should be.
So you're saying recall it and just that's it, or like recall it and fix the, try to fix it.
Well, I'll be selfish. Recall it and that's it. But
oh god, come on.
But no, what do you think? They're going to recall how much money? Just think about this. This could. If this happened to any other company, this could end the company. That's how big this is, right? Like, you can't expect them to now go and say, okay, we're accepting recalls, cover everybody's shipping, cover everything to get back to the company, do the repairs.
But I would say the cheapest thing would be just destroy it, right? Because at this point, it's a lost cause, right? Destroy your vehicle, show us proof that you destroyed it. In a year, 6 months, 8, whatever duration of time it takes, then we'll send you a new one.
And going to ship out a free. That means they got.
Well, what are they going to do? They're going to get a bunch of DeLoreans back,
They're
and then
not going to do a recall.
They have to. I know it's not easy, but I feel like that's the only way to handle this. Or you have to offer collectors an absurd amount of money to keep theirs, right? I mean, we've already seen $80, $100, and like Doc says, if this happened to Jazz, people would be throwing on the bus and talking trash.
Well, at least if this happened to Jazz, we'd get some sort of a resolution. You can use.
Yeah, well, and not only that, I have to commend any time that Jazz has had any sort of anything like this. They've been very transparent about the fix. They've gone on the record. They've made a post. At this point, like you said, John, or maybe it was Dean, it's been a week, 2 weeks, and it's been radio silent.
That's the problem. Silence. Like, at least at least with certain other companies, whoever it is, at least there's some sort of communication after the fact. But with Hot Toys, it's nothing. There's nothing. Like, someone who doesn't watch YouTube, or a new collector who picked this up and doesn't know to call Sideshow, and hey, they're worried they can lose the money and they don't want to call Sideshow because whatever, they're not experienced or whatnot. There's no communication from Sideshow to say, hey, you can call us, we'll resolve the issue.
Yeah, I'd settle for a fix it with putty post right about now.
Jeez.
And you have to think though, Dean, we've only seen an incredibly small sample size of those that have been released in the United States. Like we learned last week, this hasn't even released in Hong Kong. So it's not like this shit is done, right? Like, this is going to continue to be an issue, right? Yeah. Unless a change is made. I don't know. I think it's bad.
We were the test market. Bad. Hong Kong is going to get the pristine ones.
Yeah. Let's see what we're doing good on time here. One scene wonders, figures of characters that here we go. Texas Finest says Hot Toys ever came out and admitted they've messed up on any one of their products. The Mark 85, the original, they changed the sculpt during production, and fans were displeased. They offered a trade-in program where you could send back your sculpt, and they would send you out a more accurate, I guess, to the prototype sculpt. We talked about it last week. The Deadpool figure, Deadpool 1, Hot Toys. There was a lot of issues where the gauntlet was cutting up the suit, and so they had... I don't know that they ever replaced people's, but they made a running change in the production where they changed the pegs, and that issue was pretty much cleared up.
Bo-Katan was the portrait update as well.
Yeah, they've done several portrait updates for sure. Tactical Jackal, for the record, my DeLorean was perfect. Happy to hear that, but we definitely like to hear that better than the other one.
Hell yeah, Thor.
Yeah, so Doc says he also had a good one, but after seeing 100 reference photos from Back to the Future 2, this DeLorean is lazy. One scene wonders, we can just hit this quickly. Characters, outfits, scenes that, they're just briefly on screen, but they get a figure. Tell us about it. I would say Heavy Mando. At that time, he was only in, what was that, the 3rd or 4th episode? And again, I believe in episode 2 of Mandalorian, we had just barely seen him just a little bit. And that was enough to get a figure. With Hasbro, they've done the Trapper Wolf figure, the Dave Filoni figure, again, just like a 1 or 2 scene character. Same with the Kim's Convenience character. The name has escaped me here, but his X-Wing pilot figure from Hasbro. And there's, if you go through the line, there's a lot of different Hot Toys figures that are really just one scene wonders. And I just want to go through the panel here. Tell us some of your favorite one scene wonder figures.
Yeah, I would say maybe like Axe Wolves. He's only in, I would say, like a combined like 30 seconds of one episode. So technically more than one scene, but not by a fucking ton. She-Hulk Daredevil. Casca Reeves, again, in that same episode of Mandalorian. Yeah, there's a ton.
For me, what comes to mind is the Blurg. We didn't get too much screen time on the Blurg. And I think that was a big risk that they took. And they executed well there. What else? I can't think of...
all the different Stan Lee costume figures from Ragnarok. The yellow spacesuit figure.
Tons.
Which Dan still has that figure, and I still want it so bad. Yeah, definitely. Badfish saying the Mark 85 replacement was so hard to find. Yeah. Ben, what are some of your one scene wonder figures?
So I read this question this afternoon while I was at work, and I totally misunderstood the question.
You fucking guy, Ben.
I thought what the question was
stay off the devil's lettuce.
I know, right? I thought the question was, what's like a one scene figure or like a character that you'd want to see in 1/6 scale?
I think I got that too.
Tell us your answer.
And so I came up with Gozer the Gozerian from Ghostbusters because we don't get enough villains. A Gozer would be badass with the dogs on the side, with the 4 figures lined up. I think that would be a badass display if we could get it. So Gozer was my choice, but we obviously have not got that in Hot Toys, unfortunately, or Blitzway. So
you could have said Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have that figure, so yeah. Fair.
Boba Fett in general.
Yeah, Boba Fett in general, other than the new ones. But yeah,
that's fair.
The Sand Troopers, the Space Troopers, the Han and Chewie with the disguise.
Yeah,
just a quick little one scene wonder there.
You guys are wonderful. So full of knowledge.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
Solo Darth Maul. Yeah, that's Darth Maul from Solo is definitely a one scene wonder. That motherfucker was like in 14 seconds.
Yeah, and I got that figure too. I couldn't even think of either of those two. So thank you. I hate to see it.
I would wager that if you went down Hot Toys' checklist, you'd probably find quite a few. But just something to keep you guys' minds sharp as we move on here. Now, Wizards of the Coast, the company that makes Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, they're doing a special set. They've done them recently with like Transformers, a bunch of different other properties. They're doing a set, so the whole set is Lord of the Rings, right? Every card that you get is related to the franchise, and so they've said they're making 3 cards of Gandalf. And so the first one that they've shown us has two different printings. So you have the one on the left, Gandalf the Grey. He's a blue and red, which is kind of surprising. I thought he would be a white, which is plains. And he has some cool effects here. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. You may tap or untap target permanent. Gandalf the Grey deals 3 damage to each opponent. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy and put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. So there's the art on the left is the normal, and the showcase art is him fighting the Balrog, which is pretty cool there. They also have already released the 2 arts for Gandalf the White on the left, and then Gandalf, I think it's called Friend of the Hobbits, is the artwork for this one. So we'll have 3 official Magic the Gathering Gandalf cards, and I plan to own all of them. So if you're unboxing packs and you have some spares, holla at you, boy. I will buy them off of you. Or
absolutely get these graded.
Bro, 100% facts.
Yeah.
Also, the One Ring for 4 mana, indestructible. When the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on the ring. Tap this to put a burden counter on the One Ring, then draw a card for each burden counter on the One Ring. Pretty good effect there. Very flavorful. And what's really cool is the full art lands, which come in each pack. They're based on the map that Tolkien drew. So we have the Shire for the plains, the Belagar Sea for the island, swamp is of course Mordor, the mountains are the White Mountains of Gondor, and the forest is Mirkwood. So very thematic. I'm 99% sure I'm going to try to track down a box of these to crack as its own little video. I think that would be very fun. So
now, I'm assuming
Sam,
every
hit me up, bro, if you have extras of these.
I'm assuming every card is Lord of the Rings themed. It's not just like thrown in their normal packs.
Supposedly, the whole set is a Lord of the Rings set.
Okay.
So
cool.
they do what's called Universes Beyond, which is like, I want to say they're not legal for what's called standard play, but they're legal for like modern and other formats.
Yeah.
But in these sets, they're typically smaller than a normal set, like a core set, but everything is related to the theme. So they did a Dungeons and Dragons set where every card was like, a character from Dungeons and Dragons or like a spell or whatever.
Okay.
They've also said that Gandalf's sword will have its own card, most likely. So just a little bit of a different thing that we don't necessarily cover, but I thought
that's
it was
so cool. Yeah, because you posted these, and like literally like an hour before, I was touring the Elden Ring pages, and somebody had posted Yu-Gi-Oh! Elden Ring theme cards. And I was like, oh, that's so funny, but these are actual real cards. I was like, oh, shit, okay. I was going to be cheeky and throw mine on there too. And then I was like, oh, no, these are actual real cards. This is so cool. I would absolutely, like, every single one of these lands, I would try and get graded. The Gandalfs,
yeah, they're beautiful.
Absolutely. Depending on the character, I would absolutely try and get these graded.
Yeah, that's the goal there.
Sorry, Zach. What was the release date on that? Did you say?
Let me Lord of the Rings. MTG.
Sam was asking in the chat there.
Yeah, so these let's see. They're not released yet. Let's see here. June 23rd, 2023. So right around my birthday.
Decent.
160's Nuts says they have alternative art with Elvish language, which look awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Sam says the D&D took me forever to complete. Probably have almost 4 extra sets. Sam, holla at your boy. I might be interested. So our main topic today was supposed to be One Scene Wonders, but looking through the show sheet, I was like, you know what? I feel like something happened the week leading up to the show that you never see, and I felt like it was really important that we actually talked about it. So Toys Buying Agent, one of the most reputable retailers for hot toys overseas, they sent out an email, and I'm going to read it for you. We regret to inform you that all pre-orders of the Inart products, Joker, Batman, and Gandalf on our site will be canceled. Our top-level wholesaler falsely claimed to deal directly with Inart and collected deposits from various parties, including our supplier, before absconding with the funds. As a result, we are unable to fulfill your orders, and we were recently informed of this situation by our trustworthy supplier and have have still received a full refund. I feel like they meant to say yet to receive a full refund. We understand that this is disappointing news and we want to make things right for you. As a gesture of goodwill, we would like to offer the following forms of compensation. 1, we will issue a full refund for your deposits. Alternatively, you may choose to transfer the deposit to another item of your choice on our website. 2, we'll be sending coupons to customers who were affected by this incident. These coupons can be used for any item on our website as a token of our appreciation for your continued support. We would like to emphasize that this incident has not affected any other pre-orders on our website except for Inart products. You can continue to place orders for other products with confidence as our supplier, and we have been dealing directly with these brands and companies for many years. We remain committed to providing you with the best possible service and ensuring your satisfaction. In addition, we have decided not to sell any products from Inart in the future. We apologize for any frustration or inconveniences may have caused. We value your business and hope to continue to serve you in the future. If you have any questions, and it kind of goes on from there. This was huge. This was absolutely huge. To say, there's this phrase that I've been hearing this week, Dean, with this bank that supposedly is gone under, that needs a bailout, like a bank run, right? When a bank is failing and every customer tries to pull their money out, it can cause a real bad situation. And I almost feel like that almost happened here, right? When this email went out, people freaked out. I've seen so many posts of people looking for open pre-order slots. I've seen posts of people, asking if anyone has one for sale. I've seen posts of people like desperately trying to find a retailer that can fulfill their order. And it's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. Fortunately, the people that are in our group, we've been able to connect them to other retailers that have stock available. But man, this really tripped up the community. I'm curious what you guys think about it, because it's obviously not Toys Buying Agent's fault. I think that they've done as much as they can do, and obviously the way the email is worded, the way that I read it is almost like, hey, we haven't even gotten our money back yet, but we're gonna take care of y'all first.
Yeah.
Though that's not the way they've written it, but that's the vibe that I got.
Yeah, I was shocked that they're giving the money back, because I started reading it. I was like, oh my God, they got bamboozled and the collector's going to pay for it. But no, they did the right thing and they're paying people back. I think it's devastating for the collector, because that pre-order is gone. It is fucking out of here. And it's also devastating for Inart, because Toys Buying Agent is like, you know what? We're not even going to fucking bother buying their shit in the future, because this has soured them so badly. So it's bad for everyone all around. It's bad for Toys Buying Agent, because they're not going to be making money selling figures. It's bad for Inart, because they're not going to be making money selling figures. And it's bad for the collector, because what the fuck are they supposed to do? It's gone. Unless Inart feels bad for everybody and reopens the pre-orders, but that's going to piss a lot of people off. So, I mean, it really fucked everybody, really.
It's a sad situation, but it could have been a lot worse. Because then imagine if Toys Buying Agent said, well, sorry, we don't have your money either. Right? It's a very crappy situation, because everybody who was expecting it had trust in the order. It's gone. I think now Toy Buying Agent has to be smart with who they do business with. The fact that they're saying they're not going to sell Inart at all, I don't know about that. That could be a good stance, but I'd be, why not find a middleman or someone that I don't know how the stuff works behind the scenes, but a distribution line that would be trustworthy, because at the end of the day, it could be a major hit for toys, for them, because then if you're not going to sell Inart and I want Inart figures, and I'm going to take my business from you and go somewhere else for an Inart figure, well, that company or that person may scoop up my business for all the other stuff as well if I'm treated well over there.
100%.
So it's very, very dangerous to come out and say, well, we're not going to be carrying any Inart going forward. I think that can be devastating to the business. We'll have to see in the future, but
I would almost say, though, John, like the risk of having this happen again is so great that I feel like that's really the only answer, right? Like, we're just not going to carry Inart again because it's the new company.
How are these other guys doing it?
We got burned by us. Well, I don't know. They could be using different suppliers, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, can you imagine if they kept carrying Inart and for some reason it happened again, they couldn't fulfill an order? It's almost like quit while you're ahead. You know what I mean? At least that's the vibe that I get.
Yeah.
I think the big win with Toys Buying Agent here was that they were able to get ahead of being kind of community blasted through places like Facebook as well. Like, they got this message out as soon as they clearly found this information out, which I think was important because it still solidifies the trust that I would have from buying from these folks again. I agree with you, Zach. I can see why they're not willing to put their deck of cards on Inart again just to potentially get burned again. Like, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, like, shame on you, right? And I think that's, like, you can't do business that way when it comes to buying overseas and stuff like this. I wouldn't be totally surprised if Inart's able to distribute in other places in the world in the next year or two anyways. So I think we'll be able to just overall get our figures from wherever, but it sucks. It's devastating for the collector. I do feel bad for these folks here at Toys Buying Agent that they had to kind of show their hand and show kind of what, like, they're dealing with. And at least, like Dean said, these folks who put in the pre-order, at the very least, they lost their figure, but at least they get their money back.
Yeah.
And I do think that there will be a lot of regretful buyers from the Inart figure. I think there's a lot of people who bought that figure because of FOMO who will end up selling it after the fact. It may be at a higher cost, which would still suck, but I think there will be ways to get it if you got burned from this. So, yeah, it sucks all around for sure, but at least they were transparent and quick to getting their message out. And Doc Smizzle says, I'm waiting for Kit to send me the same email soon. My conspiracy is Inart can't handle the volume and that they're throwing empty boxes down by the river, but who knows?
He also says, rumor is 15,000 Jokers on order, and none of their other pre-orders came anywhere close to those order numbers. I have to imagine they're getting ready to get done with this release. Yeah, that one seemed to really vibe well with the community there, so... we'll see what happens going forward. As far as I know, the people that are in our group were taken care of. So, like, obviously for me, that's the most important thing. But, you know, definitely don't want collectors to be frustrated and have to pay, you know, way over aftermarket, you know, when they've been led to believe their order was been secure. So hopefully this doesn't happen with any of the other future releases or with any of the other distributors / retailers, because that would be brutal. Hot seat. Let's do it like we did last week, right? I think that was a fun way to do it. I'm not going to put a time on the clock. I'm just going to let you guys talk for a few minutes and give you guys some points. Here's my question for you all. And you guys decide who goes first, second, third. I don't care. Only giving you plus points, not negative points. We're at that point of the year for those that are in school. You're starting to get spring break. You're starting to get some report cards about 3 months into the year. I want you to name a figure company and a license. So these can be exclusive. So, for example, Hot Toys and Back to the Future. Whatever. You don't have to give me a grade. You'll be asked to give me a grade for each of them and why. And they don't have to be related. So, you know, you could do any combination of a company making toys in any scale and a license. Who wants to go first?
Do they have to have the license?
I'll go first.
Nope. So the they don't have to be exclusive. Is like, you could give me Hasbro for the company, and you can give me Magic the Gathering for the license or whatever. So they could be totally non-exclusive. Dean, you're going first. Let me get the hot seat scores up. Dean with 1 point, John with 2, Marco with 3, and Ben with 2. The floor is yours, and you guys feel free to jump in whenever you're ready.
Hopefully I understood the question correctly. So I'm going with McFarlane, and the license is DC. I'm giving them a solid B+. They are pumping figures out like nobody's business. They keep announcing them. They keep coming out on time. They're, pretty good. The only reason I'm not giving them an A is they do the same goddamn characters over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, how many fucking Batman do we possibly need? Second company, Bandai. specifically SH Figure Arts, the license, Dragon Ball Z. I'm giving them a big old fat fucking F, making it impossible to get a figure that's complete because you have to buy 8 different figures that cost $80 to $160 each. It's like, okay, if you're gonna be a Build-A-Figure wave, you gotta fucking price these things accordingly because fuck you. I have to buy that many just to get all the different head sculpts for one goddamn character? Hell no. So yeah, those are
you really struck a nerve with me there, Dean. Now, just as because I've been very fucking frustrated. Like, yeah, it's great. The first figure's $35. I got to buy $450 worth of figures to get all this shit.
Yeah.
Just a clarification there. A company. So you could say Hasbro, and then the license could be like Dragon Ball Z. They don't have to be related. Just a company grade and a license grade, 2 different grades.
So it could be like a Hot Toys and or an Inart and a Sopranos figures license.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
Then how are we grading it?
What grade does Inart get so far this year, and what grade does that license get? Because like if you say Star Wars is your license, there's a lot of different.
Oh,
Lego,
I thought
Marvel,
it was the
yeah. That's why I said they don't have to be related.
Okay.
I just want to get you guys' take on multiple.
But mine were
but
good.
Dean, you did hit a nerve with me, so I have to give you some points for that one.
Oh, like how other companies are tackling it compared to the other company?
So I think you guys are overthinking it. Okay, so first,
let's do it how Dean did it. I think how Dean did it.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
In my head, it sounded like it would make a lot of sense, but perhaps it doesn't.
Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's the time.
All right, John.
I would go. I really liked McFarlane and what they did with their Avatar line. I think it was a well executed line with having Natiri and Jake, and you have the Banshees as well, and how you can set them up in the air and everything. I think that was a well executed line, and a lot of people were excited. I'll give them an A- for that line. Let's see here. I'm gonna give it Inart as well. I'm gonna give them for their DC and tackling Joker. I think from where they started to where they are today, where with people receiving them in hand, the figure was executed beautifully and really excelled in the expectations that collectors were having for it. On a bad front, yeah, there's so many though. I'll leave some for Ben. Yeah, I'll end it there. I'll leave it there.
All right. Let me just, before Ben goes, Mars Toys A+, Batman 89 figures, Mars and DC A+ by 160's Nuts, Bob Dylan Asmus C+, DJ, all the companies that have the Attack on Titan license get a big fat F. Where the fuck is the figures or statues for the final season? I'd spend an ungodly amount of money on them. Yeah. Ben, 2 companies, give me some grades.
So my first, I was going to say Mars, but I won't say that quite yet. I'll give you Mondo Toys and what they've done with the Masters of the Universe He-Man line. We just recently got Trapjaw. That thing sold out within their timed pre-order window. They've sold their Battle Cat now, their He-Man figure, the Skeletor. Like, they're having a banger lineup with that and really bringing those to 6-scale life. So I give them an A+ for that line. Exo 6. I would give a C to this year. We've barely seen really any releases from Exo 6. They keep delaying things. They keep telling us more and more is coming. We keep getting a lot of really sideways messaging from the business owner, and then we don't get a lot back. So we have got the 7 of 9. I know some people have her in hand. I think she looks okay. For that figure, I would only still give it about a 7 out of 10. I've heard that the articulation is very poor. So still C+ from Exo 6. And then Mars was actually my number 1 pick for what they've done with the DC line. I know that they're not licensed to DC. That's why I asked earlier, Zach. But what they've done with the Batman Forever line, the Keaton-verse, what we're seeing with the 66 Joker universe, like, it's absolutely insane, some of the quality that they're giving us for very, very reasonable pricing. So I'm really excited to see what else they give us in the future.
I'm going to give 10 points to Thor Gaming, Zach Wonderland 10+, or A+, rather. Prime 1 B-, they continue to show stuff on the Prime 1 events, but takes ages to go on pre-order. Star Ace, The Boys, Z-. I'll throw my hat in the ring here. Star Wars Hasbro. I'm going to go C+. I think the fact that this year they're turning away from pre-orders is a bit weird. And just in general, Hasbro, the whole windowless packaging thing, I think has been more trouble than it's worth. I would probably wager perhaps the environmental effects might be mitigated by all the hassle that it's been with people getting figure swap figures and having to drive back to the store to get their money back, or having to return things from Amazon and ship those to and fro. I imagine there's got to be some plus and minuses there. Another company, Hot Toys Back to the Future, I think I got to give them a D- at this point. I think the Marty McFly, I think, is a great figure, but I think some of the missteps with Doc, with the sculpt issues, Einstein issues, the plutonium cardboard, and now the DeLorean that seems to be willing to fall apart. I think for a license as prestigious as that, I think you gotta have a little bit more quality there. And then Mars Toys, I think A+. I think they've killed it this year. I think everything that they've released at this point has been as good as what they've solicited, if not better. And I think as a collecting community, I think we're very fortunate to have a company putting out stuff like that. So that's the hot seat. You guys got a lot of points today. Very well done. My apologies if the question was confusing.
No.
Our movie for tonight, blockbuster movie of the week rather, Jack Black stars in Nacho Libre. Ignacio, or Nacho as his friends, to his friends, works as a cook in the Mexican monastery where he grew up. The monastery is home to a host of orphans whom Nacho cares for deeply, but there's not much money to feed them properly. Nacho decides to raise money for the children by moonlighting as a lucha libre wrestler with his partner Esqueleto, but since the church forbids lucha, Nacho must disguise his identity. This movie is one of the greatest movies of all time. Full stop. My dad has probably legitimately seen this movie no less than 1,000 times. It is his favorite film of all time. And because of that, I too have seen this movie many times, because when I'm at his house, that's the movie he's watching. And it's just so good. And it upsets me that there has not been a Hot Toys, because the Latins, we don't get a lot of Hot Toys, or we don't get a lot of collectibles. There hasn't been a Hot Toys, there hasn't been a third party, there hasn't been an outfit set. I will tell you this. When Collecting Weekly gets super famous, the first thing I'm doing is we're fucking commissioning someone to make us this figure, because this is what we need in our collection.
After our figures.
We are famous,
of course. When we get more famous, because I don't know if they'll pull you have to ask a company to make this, but this movie is awesome. The plot is great. It's hilarious. It's a very noble film. Super silly. Some great iconic characters. I would even say I'd buy a NECA at this point of this, because it's like there's nothing.
Okay.
There's a Funko Pop. There's a Funko Pop with a chase, which I got my dad for his birthday many years ago, and that thing is like almost like $200 now.
Inart with rooted hair,
bro. If Inart, bro, with rooted hair, bro, say less, bro.
I want a
the
sound
2-pack,
chip.
The 2-pack with the mask on, bro.
I want a sound chip.
That would be awesome. Dude, this movie is incredible. Jack Black kills it. I love it. I love everything about this movie.
I think you said everything.
This movie can do no wrong.
Yeah, you said it.
Where the
also
cheeks?
Terrible what happened to Ramses. That
he
passed
did
away
pass
in a
away,
horrible way. But
where
yeah.
the cheaps? Where's the flavor? Do you not realize I've had diarrhea since Easter's? Bro, this movie's quotable
Potential.
quotes are ungodly. This movie came out when I was in high school, and we loved it, right? And every single time, the place to go eat would be Chili's. And if most plates at the time came with a corn on the cob, and I would wait until one of my friends was about to eat it, and I would slap it out of his hands. Get that corn out of my face every single time, dude, without fail. And he never saw it coming. It was the funniest shit in the world. I adore this movie. It's so good. One, Paz Vega, beautiful. That woman is gorgeous. But yeah, Jack Black just fucking became Nacho. Like, usually when I watch his movies, I'm like, oh, it's just Jack Black pretending to be somebody. This was like, oh, this is a different guy. This is Nacho Libre. Like, it's just so good. He's like, hey, Chacho, let me borrow some suedes. And the little kid rolls out of bed. Oh my God, dude. The fucking go away, read some books. I
A
get to
slight
wake up.
correction there, Dean. It's
What?
not Paz Vega. It's Ana de la Reguera.
It's not Paz Vega?
No, it's not. I thought so too, and I had to double check it.
Oh my god.
For the
I
nun,
could've
right?
Yeah. Can't you tell this woman is a nun? Like,
Dude.
summon your eagle powers. What do you think
Dude,
I'm
when
doing?
he eats that fucking eagle egg, bro.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah, everything about this movie is fucking fantastic. Steven, his partner, is Esqueleto, fucking hilarious. I like it because he's like a homeless guy when he first meets him, and then they start wrestling and start making money, and he gets his teeth done. They go buy stupid clothes. Because they don't really know.
And they glow up, bro.
Yeah, and it's like it's just so endearing. Like the character is so lovable, and he just wants to chase his dream. And at the end, it's like really all he wants to do is have his own, orphanage where the kids are treated properly. Because he grew up where he currently works, and he grew up, treated like shit. And it's just a really cute movie. And if you have not seen it, do yourself a favor, watch this movie. It's just a feel-good movie. Like, it's so funny. It's so cute. It's amazing.
Jack Black is a national treasure, this guy. I miss him. I miss his movies. He needs to come out of whatever hole he's hiding in.
He's in movies all the time.
No, not. What was his last movie?
Fucking Jumanji. He's Bowser coming up.
Okay, but I'm talking about like this stuff like this where he's like
okay,
the star.
that's fair.
School of Rock.
Yeah. You're not wrong, but he does do stuff.
Yeah, he does those superhero YouTube videos, those little shorts he does. But anyways,
those are hilarious.
54%, shockingly, on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score, and 5.8 on IMDb.
Those are all white people.
I don't know. I grew up with this with my sister.
Wow.
That corn comment, she always used to say, "Get that corn." Listen, this is a classic. Again, this goes up there with School of Rock. I miss movies like this where you can sit back, shut off the brain, and just laugh from the heart, laugh from inside.
Yeah.
We don't get that anymore. But for me, I would recommend watching this. You watch this anytime, multiple times.
Send me some of that corn. Save me some of that corn for later.
We used to sing that song. Are you kidding? That song used to get stuck in my head.
Bro, I know the Ramsey song by heart, bro. By heart, I could sing it.
Oh, man. This is a classic.
Oh, my God. Just listening to you quote it, Dean, I think is probably my favorite part.
Pretty much.
I'm not going to lie.
You're telling me this shit is 54% on Rotten Tomatoes? How dare Rotten Tomatoes? Dude, look at this. I'm willing to get the claim for this. Look at this beautiful cinematography. Steven Spielberg.
I can't believe that's not Las Vegas.
so much hang time.
It's just a classic. That's all. It's like not. It's just a good comedy.
You just turn your brain off and just laugh. There's too much shit going on in the world.
Yeah.
So when this movie came out, everybody told me how funny it was. And I had the same feeling with Napoleon Dynamite when it came out.
Oh
everybody told me how funny that's movie was.
Movie.
And then I ended up watching it by myself, and I didn't like it at all the first time I watched it. This is years ago.
Come here, Tina, you fat lard.
So when it came up as movie of the week this week, I honestly wasn't actually looking all that forward to it because I hadn't remembered it being all that good. And I gotta say, I was absolutely wrong. I had a great time watching this with my buddy the other night. We laughed our ass off, dude. And it was like, and like, as I said, hearing Dean quote it again just like brought me right back. I had to mute myself. I was laughing so hard in the background, dude. It was so good. So if you've watched it before and didn't love it, give it at least one more chance because, as I said, this actually, I think now is my favorite Jack Black movie. It was awesome. So great pick, boys. Great pick.
Dude, that's so crazy. On IMDb, there's literally a thing where it's like, this actress looks like Paz Vega. That's fucking wild. That's not the same woman. Who said that blew my mind. Thank you for pointing that out. Zach, are you mute? Oh, no.
No.
We should do Napoleon Dynamite one day.
It's been a while since I've seen that one too.
Your pick is after Dean's. Dean, your pick for movie of the week.
Well, now I'm tempted to say School of Rock, but I really want Marco to see Face Off. What do you guys
The world
think?
is your oyster. I want to see Face. It's been a while since I've seen.
It's been a while since I've seen Face Off.
Okay,
I'd watch it again.
All right, Face Off
I'm
is our
not cool
movie
enough
of the
to be in
week.
the band.
Next week should be Mikasa. I think it's called. It's a Will Ferrell movie, completely in Spanish. I've heard of that film.
I'm not a fan of Will Ferrell. I was, but he's just, I don't know. He's too much sometimes.
He is too much. Dean, you know who's not too much? These sweet angels, the pillars that keep the empire going.
The sweet, beautiful angels. Give a quick shout out to Ian Seavey, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, hey Kevin, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Guest, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Bad Fish, Sweet Danny Lee, Dee Dee Martin, Stephen Krepp, Big Ol' Fern, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alad Morgan, Tukothri Awad, Derek B., Arias Portillo, Mark Randolph, Alvin J., Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Jimmy James, Stephen Percha, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of angels.
Absolute angels. In March, the sticker that we're doing is the Papa Ox Collecting Weekly sticker. April, we'll probably put up questions in the Patreon chat so that we can get some ideas for April. We also have an opportunity for an exclusive sticker at Star Wars Celebration. If you go and you find Ian and Pete, they'll be handing out some OFAC stickers. I'll hopefully grab a picture of that for the slides for the next show. But yeah, if you're going to be in Celebration, that's the only way to get that sticker, and it'll be a real nice little sticker that Ian, Pete, and Manny designed. For Patreon, it starts at $5 a month. You get the digital access to all of our benefits. $7.50 a month rather is the Sweet Angel tier. You get stickers sent straight to your door, as well as access to Ox After Dark replay. The certified Crispy tier is the Crispy certificate and figure fix assistance, and the $25 tier is the Pog Deluxe set and doubles of all the stickers that we send and all the benefits of the previous tiers. If you want to join Patreon, click that link there on your YouTube screen. Channel members, we have Mojo Z78, Absolute Irwin, LV Avengers 702, OMFG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Daminator, Samgis, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hansen, Chris V, Big Ol' Fern, Cram, Alvin J, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Mendez, B-Chan, Fat Batman, Justin Sports Cards Museum, and Philip the Fool. Appreciate you guys for being a part of the YouTube channel membership. You get loyalty badges and special emojis starting at 99 cents a month if you're a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you are not. As far as the network goes, we have After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. We have Small Talk this Thursday. And then Friday, of course, Collectors Club. This weekend, I don't know exactly what we're doing this weekend, but it'll either be Dungeons & Dragons or, Ox PD or Red Dead Redemption. So it just depends on kind of what we got in the back room. But I'll know a little bit better once I talk to Cody. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing something for you guys this weekend. And of course, on Sunday's question of the week. Looking at TeePublic here, we have plenty of shirts for you guys to check out there. I think they just came off sale. So to be honest, I would hold off because I think that they're a better value at $13 as opposed to $20. But yeah, there's tons of new designs. And we actually just put up that exclusive OFAC Celebration t-shirt there if you guys want to check that out. John, can you read the socials for me?
Of course, we got on Facebook Collecting Weekly, as well as Collecting Weekly Auxiliary, the main Facebook group. Instagram, we got at Collecting Weekly _clips, and at the Everyday Collector. Check those out. Social media pages, you guys should all be on there already.
Yeah, of course. Shout out time. I want to shout out my daughter. It's her birthday on Thursday, and she turned 6, so that's very cool. She's a wonderful child. Love you, Vivi, if you're watching. Spring break right now, so it's been a little crazy this week at our house. But yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. A little bit of a short show tonight. Not a ton of news, but you guys stuck with us nonetheless. Dean, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, it's actually my sister Lisa's birthday. She's a Patreon, so shout her
Lisa
out.
Martin Bomansky.
Yeah, she's feeling a little under the weather today, so she's not really enjoying her birthday. But shout her out. She's a good big sister.
That's awesome.
Yay.
Shout out to Dean. Sorry, John. Shout out to Dean, Marco, and Pete from OFAC. I had my first really big live stream on Sunday this past week at 3 p.m. On the Ben Thomas Show. Those guys joined, made it a really fun show. We had a really good time. So if you guys missed that live show, check it out on the replay. I will be live again on Sunday this week at the same time, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 2 p.m. Pacific, I believe. And Sean Usby wants to be on this week, and I think Pete from OFAC is making his return. So if any of you guys want to join, you guys can absolutely jump in with me as well. But yeah, we'll have some fun on Sunday afternoon live stream as well. We're going to talk a little bit about the X06 7 of 9 release. Some of the definitive Luke Skywalkers and the Last of Us 2 game, and if they should convert the show into the game. We'll see. So stay tuned. But yeah, have a good time, and thanks for joining, boys. I appreciate it.
Shout out to Joe, aka Fat Batman, Patreon. Happy birthday, brother! Today's his birthday. Hope you had an awesome day. And of course all the community members, everyone who shows up on Tuesdays to listen to us, and on Fridays with the statue show. You guys all rock.
I talked to Joe on Friday. He was real excited. His wonderful mother bought him a 3D printer, and he was asking me some advice. So hopefully I have a call with him this week to kind of give him a crash course on some of the slicing programs. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we can get him printing this week, get him into that world of 3D printing. So
Nice.
that'll definitely be... I think it's great because he's like, dude, as soon as I got this, you're the first person I wanted to call, because it is confusing. And I think if you...
What, really?
I've always said that if you can help someone, with something like this, I think you should. So
First person I usually want to call the Ghostbusters.
wow, even for 3D printing, hey?
Zach's the last person I want to call.
Wow, okay, let's get him out of here. Anyways, yeah, shout out everyone. Like I said, real short news week, but
I moved
we
up
pushed
for a
it. We pushed it through for almost 2 hours. So love you guys, and I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm John.
And I'm Ben.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.